This is the Skylark fanatics' most holy place. They believe this planet is sacred ground. The battle shrine is located at the most holy part of this holy planet.
So let me get this straight. It's holy. But there's more to it than that, isn't there?
Yes, in all of the time that we mined from the Skidar, we never found this place. We knew that until it was destroyed, the war would never be over. We fought the Skidar to a standstill. We earned a ceasefire, but we always had to be on guard. Destruction of this place would mean a chance of true peace.
Then we have to be certain that no fanatics survive. I'll go in and take out the leader. You'll have to summon the Mayan fleet to level the shrine.
If you're caught on the ground when the fleet gets here, you won't stand a chance.
That's a mistake I don't intend to make.
It's all come to this. The last level of Perfect Dark. At least you start out with a hell of a lot more than the knife. This weapon makes the Skedar so much easier to kill. Like, you've got the Falcon 2 that can zoom in, and the Callisto NTG is the weapon those two alien guys were using in the last level. It's one of my favorite weapons. It's barely ever used. It doesn't zoom in, but it's so powerful it doesn't matter. It makes really short work of the Skedar, especially since most of them just attack you hand to hand or use a terrible gun against you.
This seems to be one of the special pillars.
I'm not sure what the special pillars thing is all about, but you put a target amplifier on them. Same design as GoldenEye, as the bugs from GoldenEye, and Elvis blows up those pillars once you set them all. I don't really know what that does, but whatever. This gun, the Skedar use it some in this level. It's not a very good weapon. It's not that powerful, but mainly you have to charge it up for it to start working. And it's really inaccurate, and you just go through ammo so fast. It's just, I don't really like it, especially when you have the Callisto NTG. I like to use the high-impact shells, which is the secondary function for this weapon, because they do a lot more damage than the regular rapid fire. They shoot through walls, and you just end up conserving much more ammo and doing a lot more damage, so I think they're just all around objectively better. Now there's two special pillars in this level that you don't have to put target amplifiers on, but you should still blow them up, because you get a special weapon if you do. Pretty well hidden in that regard. Sometimes the Skedar spawns right here, and I think I killed him with the explosion, actually. I really like this music. I like the way it starts off all serious and dramatic and then kind of turns into this, like, I don't even really know how to describe it. It's almost techno-sounding just because of that, which I actually don't like the sound of that, but the keyboard part I like quite a bit. Also, in this version of the game, because there's also the Xbox Live Arcade version, in this version, the Nintendo 64 version, the sky is like all kinds of weird colors. It's blue, but it's also like green and pink. And in the Xbox Live Arcade version, it's just all blue, really. And I think this version definitely has that over the other version. I don't really like the Xbox Live Arcade version because I don't like a lot of the aesthetical changes they made to the game. And they made Elvis look really ugly, and this level the sky doesn't look the same. Like, the sky looks better on the Nintendo 64 version. Plus, you know, it's just the original version, and most of the time you just can't beat the original. But I do like how you have this really full inventory in this level, right at the beginning, and in the last level you started out with a knife. And I thought back then when I played that level originally that it was really cool that you always had a weapon, and I was like, that's the way to go, you know. I just thought all games should do that. That you should always have a weapon no matter what. In first-person shooters, at least. So I didn't blow that up, Elvis did. That was one of the special pillars. I put all the target amplifiers there, and the explosion actually killed one of the Skedar that came after me. I don't know that ever happened before. But it was pretty funny. But yeah, there's a gun right there that won't be there unless you blow up all the pillars. And it's 2 phoenixes, which makes this level really easy. And you have to blow up that little chunk of wall right there to be able to climb a ladder. And I actually, when I was playing this before, like yesterday I believe, I just kept fucking up right there because I kept getting over to the ladder, but it was blocked by the rock and I didn't remember you had to shoot it, and I kept falling down just trying to figure out where to go. He's bleeding a lot. Anyway, this is another level with no human enemies. There's only 3 levels where you fight non-human enemies, or at least Skedar anyway, and in one of the levels you only fight 1 Skedar. But I think that's kind of cool how the last 2 levels you only fight Skedar. And I also like how this level has 3 suns. Well, this planet has 3 suns. It's also cool that you're on a different planet. Every time I try to get the IR scanner, I accidentally select the Reaper. So yeah, that shows that that wall can be destroyed, and that's how you continue through the Sanctum. I think that's pretty interesting, that you can't progress through the planet because it's so destroyed, well, it's so dilapidated that you have to blow parts of it up to even progress. So it would make sense that the Skedar on their home planet wouldn't all be in their suits, that they would just... there would be little Skedar running around, and which I thought were baby Skedar for a long time, but no. Those are what the Skedar actually look like, which make the Skedar more interesting to me, because they're so small, yet they've been, like, they're this really dangerous alien race that have been at war with a very intelligent alien race for who knows how long, but they actually pose a threat to both the human race and the Mayans, whatever they're called. This block puzzle thing, I really don't get it. Well, I mean, I get it, but it's just stupid because it's just right there. You just push it right next to it. It's like a really crappy puzzle. It's obvious, and it's hard to do because of like the one control stick. I don't need dual analog sticks to do this, but with that one control stick, it's kind of hard to do. I also like how you can see that that bridge extends when you put the block onto the place that it needs to go, because that's what it does. It extends the bridge right here. And I didn't mean to use the Reaper, but every time I tried to select the IR scanner, I just kept selecting the Reaper, and it was really annoying. But I need it to even see right here, because there's no power right here. That's something I always liked about this level, was that you get to the Skedar's planet, and they're the main antagonists. They're supposed to be really threatening, and they're obviously pretty highly advanced technologically if they can have giant suits of themselves that operate very well, and can have holograms that actually make them look like humans that believably. But you go to their planet and the doors don't open all the way, the parts of the power to the planet are completely cut off, it's all dilapidated. You know, it seems war-torn. So there's 2 guys in here with rocket launchers. I don't normally die to them, but I actually did earlier today. I think that might have hurt me. No, I don't think it did. Yeah, I was trying to grab his Slayer, I couldn't see it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. That barely did any damage, I was lucky. Yeah, I have so many weapons, I couldn't even select it on the quick screen. So apparently the lack of light doesn't affect the rocket's ability to see. But yeah, like, wouldn't he have at least jumped out of the way? Anyway.
The power's more constant in this area. The inner sanctum can't be far away.
So this make your sacrifice to the god of war thing took me a really long time to figure out, but you just take out a weapon and press B and it puts all the light back in the area. Again, I'm going for my Slayer because I just don't have any room in the quick bar. But yeah, that's interesting because this game, it's just, I hadn't seen shit like that before in a first-person shooter, you know, make your sacrifice to the god of war, you know, it just feels out of place in this game, but you are on a different planet. And I do think it's interesting that the level ends on a different planet. Now, I like the way that bridge and that spinning pillar looks. I like the way the doors look. I completely like the way this level looks. I don't know what those weird, like, beams of light you walk through are. I keep checking my health, and that's why I press pause so much.
Oh no! The Skidder army in suspended animation!
That's so stupid, like, oh no! It just sounds so fake, like so voice acted, like just acted. This spot can be pretty hard if you didn't make a point to know exactly when all the Skylarks spawn. Because you can just have eventually all of them on you. All of them will be out, all of them will be shooting at you. I've never had it that bad before, but I have had like 2 or 3 out at one time, and I wasn't sure where they were coming from. And also, since you can shoot through those green doors with this weapon, you know, this really isn't tough if you know all the spawn points. How did she know that there was a Skedar army in suspended animation before the light even came on? That's always something that was weird to me. But all these guys have maulers, so that makes them assholes, because that does a ton of damage. But also, the mauler is just the best weapon to use at the part coming up. And I'm opening all the green doors to get ammo, because it's the best thing. The mauler is the best thing for this next part. I think this room looks cool. Like, I like the blue floor in the middle. It's just you really do feel like, I don't so much feel like it's that much like a different planet. It does feel like a different planet. But it also feels like it could have been on Earth, but it's aesthetically quite different from the rest of the game, and I like that. I have to go to get my mauler right here. But I get confused. I was going the right direction right here. But I end up going thinking it's not the right direction and turning back. Really stupid. I was just listening to the music. I particularly like that part right there. Now, something interesting I just thought of was the mauler is on the case of the back of Perfect Dark. And I remember as a kid being like, what is that weapon? Because it was glowing red, and I was like, is that weapon even in the game? This whole cut off the head and the body will perish thing. I didn't know what the hell she was talking about when I first did it, and I just didn't really understand how to fight this boss at all, and I don't think I ended up beating this game for a very long time, because I just didn't know how to fight the boss. But yeah, all you do is you keep shooting at him and until his shield goes down. You never actually hurt him. And then he'll go to rest, I guess. I guess it makes his shield replenish. And then he just stands under one of those things. You shoot them, and at the right time, those things won't have a shield around them, and that's how you damage him. I was really confused as to how to do it for a long time.
Are you hurt?
Elvis! Elvis, over here!
No problem. Grab my arms. They'll get you out in no time.
No! Quick! Give me your gun! Will you just... Let go!
I managed to get the fleet to stop the bombardment while I looked for you. They'll start as soon as we're clear.
I'd have got out in time if that one hadn't grabbed my foot.
Of course, Joanna. Of course.
No, I would have.
I believe you.
That level ends in a really stupid way, and that's the end of the game, too, so... The game ends in a pretty stupid way, but... That last boss fight is normally much harder. Well, actually, no, it's not normally much harder, but he has a lot more means of attack than I showed off, because I guess, you know, I'm just so fucking good. But no, not really. It's just I found a really useful method. Just stay right next to him. Just keep shooting him and just move left and right. He'll shoot a rocket, move to the side. He might teleport down and try and smack you. He ended up just teleporting right past me. He will, like, when he raises his little wand thing in the air, it'll summon other Skedar to fight you that you'll have to kill, but I shot him before he could even do that, and the fight's just over really fast. And here is the really campy ending credits of this game. Keith Bunny Rabbit. There's quite a few stupid jokes in the names at the end here. But yeah, pretty unimpressive last boss. Play that music, Maestro. Grant Kirkhope, I've just been listening to his music as a kid, listening to like the music he made. It's just all I did as a kid, it feels like. I played so many rare games. Oh man, what was I saying? So many things going on. So many things going on at once. Dark Mark. But yeah, that, not a very foreboding last boss. Pretty easy too. Kind of an interesting gimmick there. Did that say orgasm? I wasn't even really looking. But pretty, kind of interesting gimmick, but not a very fun or gratifying boss fight. But it is kind of cool how you see it just get stabbed right in the head by like its own symbol of authority. It's so poetic. I recognize that name, Steve Malpass. Oh, but yeah, Perfect Dark. Actually, when I first played this game, I played it to this level. I didn't beat it, but I got to this level on a rental period, and I wasn't sure if it was the end of the game. I always think of that. I remember I had to give it back when I was on that last level, so before I even bought the game, I had played through most of it, which is weird. So this on Perfect Agent, this game on Perfect Agent, it has some levels that are pretty rough, but it's really not that hard of a game on Perfect Agent. Carrington Institute on Perfect Agent is pretty hard. The attack ship level, the level before this one, is really hard for me on Perfect Agent, but also that first Area 51 level, Area 51 Infiltration, that one's pretty tough. But no, the game's really not that hard on Perfect Agent. It has some pretty tough levels, and it's still, you know, it's still a fair challenge, but I think it's just challenging. Like, it's tough, but it's not that tough. But, just it has some levels that are so hard, it's really irritating. And also, I've not beaten it on Perfect Agent that many times. Yeah, I like this game. I loved it as a kid. I don't love it anymore, but I still think it's a lot of fun to come back and play sometimes, and I have so many fond memories with it. I know the game really well, and there's some levels I just really like the Air Force One levels, not the Air Force One levels, the Area 51 levels. Not the very first one, but the ones when you're in Area 51, I really like those levels. Those are a lot of fun. And I like the early Datadyne missions too, where you're going into Datadyne. I think those are a lot of fun. To me, it was quite a step up from GoldenEye, and I loved GoldenEye. I didn't think anything could be better than GoldenEye first-person shooter-wise. Oh yeah. This was fun to do. It was harrowing at times, especially having to record the gameplay and then come back and say things after I've already recorded, you know, watching it back, you know, I want to say something about something, but I've already ran right past it, or whatever. I'm not the biggest fan of that last level. It's fun to play, but the last boss is just pretty unsatisfying. I do like how the game only has one boss and it has one last boss. I do think that's kind of cool, and I like it when games do that, but I'm a big fan of bosses, but I also kind of like the game if it's not really boss-oriented, but it does have one last boss. I think that's cool. I remember talking to a friend of mine about that back in, like, 8th grade. He was saying, he doesn't like bosses at all, unless it's one final boss. That's the only way he can like it, and I remember just completely disagreeing with him. And that all came from me looking at a strategy guide, and it showed the final boss to Silent Hill 4. And I just thought that boss looked crazy, but You don't even actually fight that. It wasn't even the boss, and Perfect Dark will live on. I do like that stark contrast in music, how it goes from like this really like over-the-top guitar solo. It kind of reminds me of the good ending to Resident Evil 2, the music at the end of that, but it goes this really like mysterious kind of weird techno, not even techno, like funky thing. But yeah, this plays if you've beaten the game. When you turn on the game, this will just start. And I think it's cool when games do things like that, where after you beat the game, you get some special thing that other people might not have. So if you have a friend that has the same game, you come over, you turn on your game, and it's like, hey, what's that? And I'm like, I don't remember that. But, you know, that kind of shit happened back in the day. Now with YouTube and Google and everything, everybody already knows, so I guess it doesn't even matter. But there's still some bonus levels to do that I've unlocked. I've unlocked all of them for being an unperfect agent, and I don't like most of them, but I do like some of them, so I guess I'll get to them eventually.